wanna spend my life with you all day. You say that you love me, is it true? You say I'm the only one that's all for you. Okay, make me feel away, make me feel away. Shorty so damn dangerous, fuck me like I'm famous, yeah. I've been so impatient, so glad that you made it here. Took my dick and faced it, shorty going crazy, yeah. Thought that you was playing, told me spray it everywhere. She want me to take it, what you tryna do? Shorty said she like it red.
Hey y'all, we back with another episode of That Girl Got Knowledge. I'm your host, Ebony. I got my co-host with me, Buzz and Janae. And then we got some special guests with us. We got Taleah, Jess, and Sydney. Y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves. Let us know who y'all are so everybody knows what's happening.
I'm Taleah Dixon. I go to Loyola University, Maryland. I am an MBA grad student at Loyola, and I'm looking to be a journalist, a sports reporter with ESPN.
I'm Jessica Booth. I'm currently an undergrad at Lafayette College. I'm majoring in economics, concentration in finance, and I'm in data science.
I'm Sydney Hines. I'm a director of basketball operations for the men's basketball team at Loyola University, Maryland, and I'm out of school, so I got 2 degrees, and yeah.
I know that's right.
Trying to be a coach one day.
Let's go.
Yeah. So you're gonna stay with the girls or you gonna go with the boys?
No, I'm on the men's side.
I know. I'm talking about when you further your career in coaching.
I'm stay on the men's.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. No, that's amazing. It's amazing. I heard the girls are better than coaching than the boys. I coached boys high school, so like that, you know, I'm getting ass. So like, you know what I'm saying? I heard girls is more like.
I mean, because girls pick up on like the fundamentals.
Yeah, I like the fundamental. Like you like I'm real specific. I like you gotta keep it basic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like all that flashy sometimes.
No, that's real. Especially when you like trying to just teach.
Yeah, I love teaching.
No, totally understand that. So like, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna ask like, what like inspires you guys like to play basketball? Like, what kind of pushed you guys in that space of wanting to play? Like when you were younger, and how long have you been playing?
For me, my parents just had me like in a lot of different sports. Like I don't know, I did like dance and ballet and golf and tennis. I don't know, they were just like
I must say, I never knew you played golf.
I was out here doing anything, and then like one day I was just like, well, let me try basketball, and then I ended up being kind of good at it. So then I was like watching like Michael Jordan growing up, Kobe. So
Yeah, he's big.
yeah, I've played since like 7 years old.
Yeah, same.
I
That's
just
when I
played
started.
for your uncles.
Yeah, I was saying, we all have a history of basketball, and I feel like we all grew up around each other in some aspect. So,
I ain't grew up with y'all.
no, not you, but whatever.
Definitely did. I was across the borders.
It's not about you. That's because you old.
No.
Whatever.
Well, yeah, it was my sister for me. She was starting when she was 9, and I was 5. I had to copy my big sister. So she was in the gym. I just like picked up the basketball and was just playing because she played, honestly. Stop.
No, mine is like the exact same. My brother played, so I just was always in the gym constantly, just living there. And it's just something like, you can't help but to pick up a ball. And then like when you have people, she was mine, you're like, she a nice little sister, I'm like my brother. So just seeing him play, my dad had a love for the game. We grew up watching the finals. We were big Lakers fans, so we were big Kobe fans, always just watching every finals. We had the little TVs in the cars when we watched kids movies. My dad had little finals CDs, and we just watched the finals over and over and over again. Like, so just constantly being on a game.
Gotcha. So then, real quick, just because I want to like ask what position do you play? So throughout your entire career, like what position have you consistently played, or like did it like transition over the years?
I definitely consistently played the 1 and the 2. Like, I wasn't one of those girls that was big early, but I stopped growing. So, and my dad knew I was gonna stop growing, so he was like, "Nope, you're not even gonna try to put you on the block or nothing like that. You just gonna stay here and learn how to ball." So I've always played.
I was the guard, but like big. I was a big guard. Like, I was big when I was younger.
Yeah.
But my dad was like, "No, you're gonna be a guard. Like, you're not gonna go in the post." But then it was like high school when our bigs got injured, then I'm out here playing a 4 or 5 for no reason. I had no business playing against 6'3" players. No, he was. But I feel like that was a lesson learned because I was so big growing up, and it was like
yeah, but I'm not gonna be 6'3". Like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do down there? And then I stopped running. It's like, oh shoot.
Big
Now she
rock.
gotta learn how to handle the ball. And it's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna give you the ball. We're gonna put the ball in your hands. So I think
You go against all the bigs on offense though, like as soon as they come out, oh yeah, that's one on one.
Yeah, but then they're like, they trailing you, and then you go to the basket, they're behind and just block you. So like, it doesn't really work that way.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Man. You can shield like this and get all away with it with the hand. It's all.
Yeah, but
They
it's
call
that-
that
but
foul.
that- yeah, but that
No, but then guys, you can shield and do that. I do that all the time. I get away with it every time.
But you
I'm
also-
a dirty,
guys-
I'm a
but
dirty
guys
I
player.
get away with a lot.
Y'all
I'm
get
dirty
y'all
with
get away
it.
with a
Traveling.
lot. Like, when it comes to basketball, y'all get away with a lot. Double dribbling, like all of that. Like,
Sidestep.
yeah, carrying and stuff. Y'all get away with all
I got
that.
you because everybody else like 6'8", and I got to figure a way. I'm 5'9".
So, what position have you always played?
1 and 2. I play combo.
Got you.
Mhm. I shoot that
Wow.
I shoot that joint.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
And then if you get down to
Oh,
keeping it
back in the day,
is
listen,
another
back in
way.
the day, I was trying to dunk on everybody. I had bounce.
I wanna see something.
That's little man
No,
conversation.
shit, I ain't tripping. I got you, fam.
And what about you? What positions have you played?
So I played really just the two.
Gotcha.
Oh, you just shoot
Yeah, like we always had somebody smaller than me on our team, so she always played the one. And I didn't realize until college that I probably should have been playing the one.
Got
A little bit
yeah.
more. I'm
For real.
small, I'm like
For
5'6", so.
Combo,
Yeah.
that's fun.
I started out like playing the one, like point guard. This was like elementary school, of course. Point guard, and then I moved to playing like 3, 4 in middle school, and then high school was like 4 and 5. But then when I tried to play in college, they was like, "Oh no, you're going to the one."
What?
In college, yes, because I think her name was Essence Fredericks, I believe, who went to College Park with me. She was 6'9". So yeah.
She's tall and skinny.
Tall and skinny, yes.
She
Yep,
bit.
yep, center. And they was like, nope, if you want to be on the team, you're going to have to be point guard. And I was like, no.
That's not, you think you're tall until you get to college.
Until you get to
You're not
college,
literally, you're not
No,
tall.
really.
Yeah.
We played against like a 6'9" girl at Virginia. I forgot what her name was. But she was huge. Like, it was like we were literally trying to like grab her arm down. She's still going and one. I'm like, dang girl, like how you still getting this?
Yeah. It's nothing any boxing out or anything can do.
No,
No,
it
it's
is.
6'9".
No.
Like, nothing. No.
I'm like, it's yours. Go ahead, take it. Go ahead. I'm gonna just get back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get back because you got it.
Exactly.
So I want to tap into like that student athlete life because we've all lived it, right? We live it. You are helping people like navigate it. So like, how difficult is and was for us because we old. How difficult is the balance between like being a student, being an athlete, having your personal life, having a love life, having all of these things? Like, what do you find to be the easiest and what do you find to be like the hardest?
For me, I had a relationship in college for most of college. So it was a hard balance to try to manage, like trying to be in study hall so you can get a good grade, you're trying to be in a gym so you can be a great player, still, talk to your significant other, mine was like 8 hours away, so trying to have long distance was a little tough, so, I always had good grades. I feel like basketball, I could have been better if I was so focused on like other things in my life, but I had good grades, so.
I had decent, just to play basketball. That's all you need. Look, they said you just gotta have a surgery for it. I prove that.
Yeah.
You know what?
Mom was a 3-0. Mom was 3-0. I could have had like a 4 if I wanted to, but that's too much.
Nah, I had like a 3-4 and I
She was
majored
3-4.
in exercise science. So it was like chem, bio, physics,
wow.
and anatomy.
I took
like
bio my freshman year and got right out of it. I changed my major quick.
Oh, yeah.
Like 5 seconds.
That's it, never mind.
Science is hard.
See, my problem is like I want sleep. I value sleep. Like,
No, you don't sleep in
I
time.
want to sleep, but that's what, like you had to stay up, you had to study, but then like after practice, like I had to stay up and do my homework. No, I don't want to do none of that. I want to go to sleep after practice. So I had to change my major real quick.
I don't know. I feel like at my school, my coach is very like student athlete first oriented, like, so I just didn't really have much of an issue. Like, she's very understanding of like, okay, I'm falling behind this class, I need to put more time towards this, and if that interferes with some type of workout or I need to change that schedule around, like, she's very accommodating. So I don't know, I do know that when people talk about time management and the importance of it, like, that is not a cliche. Like, that is so important, and I'm still struggling to like find it now into my last year. Like, time management is so important, even when you're trying to incorporate like your love life. Like, you have to really plan out every bit of your life in order for it to all work.
Listen, he gonna understand if you gotta do what you gotta do.
But listen, I'm here. It don't change as an adult.
Yeah,
Like,
I was gonna say,
I was listening about the same
Like,
thing.
if he understand, but
It's probably worse.
I mean,
it is worse.
Like, you would think that, like, okay,
especially if you know you move, I can understand. I can get it because I'm like, yo, I've been in that predicament. So it's like, you know, I understand. Like, I'm gonna give you your time and space sometimes, but sometimes, you know,
it
I'm
don't.
gonna
But
be there to help you.
I mean, you would think that, like, once you graduate and like once basketball, the thing that takes up so much of your time for so long of your life is no longer in it. You would think that like you have more time, and you don't.
No, time is
Things just
essence.
creep in.
Time is very essence.
I feel like I don't have 24 hours.
You don't.
No, and the thing is, you really don't because
You don't, because you sleep 8 of those hours.
Mhm.
8. I need like 12.
Yeah.
I want like a 12-hour
You
rest.
sleep
I said, well, you
No,
sleep 8
I
and
get
then
it, like,
4 hours
6.
nap, so.
You sleep 6. I don't even sleep 6. I sleep 4, 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm head out.
I need it.
You need
So, question, did you guys like get scholarships or any type of like funding for school, like in basketball and everything?
Yeah.
Full
Yeah,
scholarship.
full scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, Hoover.
I like
No, like these are like
I know.
hoopers. Like
Oh, cool. I know they are.
Look. Baddies and
Exactly. No, that's amazing.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
so we're saying like time management is like the hardest thing and like kind of putting all your ducks in a row. But what's the easiest thing of like being a student athlete and like enjoying this time? Like what would you pick out as like the easiest?
Food.
I was gonna say between food
I
and
told you.
Finding
beer.
friends. I think finding friends.
It's
I like so
easy.
many people talk about in college, like I have friends now who don't play sports and they talk about struggling to find their people and even still looking now if they were to transfer. And I'm just like, you kind of go and you already have your team. It's like you already are starting with a foundation of friendship, kind of like this team building, like you already kind of have a family. And even though you're not gonna be close to everyone, like you're gonna find your people. Like that's why Taleah is my best friend. Like that was nothing but basketball. Like basketball has brought just about all of my best friends into my life.
Party of life.
Mine too.
I know, that's dope.
That,
Yeah.
like that, I think about it. My 3 best friends.
That's what you.
I played basketball with them, or I met the other one from his sister. So it's like basketball. Like it's
Yeah. No, like even now when I think about it, like my best friend Jasmine, I played basketball with her. Best friend Carissa played basketball with her. Yeah, like basketball kind of surrounds a lot of
Put you
things.
together.
Huh?
I'm telling you, put you together.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
even if you didn't play, like I didn't play basketball with Sid, like we're still cool, like we're still friends, like
Yeah.
it's just a whole world, like the
Yeah.
camaraderie that you just automatically have as a family.
So then I do want to get into like what is the juiciness of being like a college athlete, because I necessarily wasn't like a college athlete, but like what is like the juiciness and like the fun of that? Like everybody in the school know your name, like or
That, I did not like have this at the big school.
I mean, but still,
Not
like,
really.
I
It's a small school.
I feel like at the smaller school, like it happens, but it's just like, I don't know, like I'm kind of a little bit antisocial. Like I really only be with my friends, but then when I do reach out, like people do like know who I am, but I would never know that like at first glance just because I kind of keep to myself. But it is like to a certain extent, like it does exist, because like then you're
I
like,
don't know. Well, maybe because my school is lacrosse based, like that's
It
our big
definitely
school,
is.
and it's
I mean,
PWI,
you know,
like
yeah.
it's like being a black girl at a PWI, like it's hard to like people don't know me, like
yeah.
they know the lacrosse people, they know the soccer players, but like I'm just a regular student almost, which is fine. Like, I'm okay, like I get to stay to myself, which is fine too.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I think the most fun part is just like we said, like the friends part. Like I had my friends on my team, like I'm playing with my best friends.
Gotcha. I guess like in my mind, I'm thinking about like College Park and how like the
That's
the
a
Turks
whole-
like
that's
the girls
a whole
like
different
when they
world.
were running out on the
Man,
court.
it's
It's
not
not
the girls on the church. I don't know what you talking about. Like, the water girl.
I think it may depend on the school though.
Yeah.
Some,
Some
like,
schools are smaller, but they're still like they ride or die.
Yeah, right.
yeah, or they
right.
ride it out football, or like they
Yeah.
ride it out, like she said, like ride it out lacrosse. So it's like,
And it depends on, go ahead, sorry. Oh, it depends on like the team that you have too, because like y'all have football, we don't have a football team, so like, I know like our other best friend, like Elon, and like she has the football team, they come to the games, but we don't have that. We only have the men's basketball team that we're really close with, and they're not there. We play on the same days, so like all we got is our family at the games. It's not that many, and the volleyball players, we're close with them too, but like we don't have that many people coming to our games because there's not that many people that we're friends with either.
I think also with like athletes now, they have social media a little bit more than we did. So like
No, that's
you know,
right.
like we're still getting into it. Like we're in first steps of Instagram, Twitter, and stuff like that.
it was
But-
love. It was love day.
Right,
And
right.
I was
Love day. That was game day, love day. So
we
like,
had Instagram back then, girl.
man, we had TikTok.
TikTok
That
back
was
then.
that
Listen.
big. Like that gets you the juiciness right there. Like even if you do go to a small school, if you popping on social media, like
What?
Everybody knows.
yeah, you want something you know.
That's for sure. Definitely for sure. I'm popping on the TikTok.
You want to be popping on the TikTok,
I just got here to
like today?
I don't be on that. I'm too old for that.
Okay.
So, question: when it comes to like dating, how was dating for you guys?
We
Like,
getting juicy.
I know. I was like, forget it. I'm just jump right in.
Jump right in.
How was dating? I know we talked about like a little bit about the basketball / like school life balance, but like dating though, like how was that in school if you guys dated? Did you
Don't look around.
I did.
Somebody
It's the way that they're looking at each other like, oh
who's
Lord.
first?
I dated. It was a positive experience for me, honestly. Like I felt
Was
like
he on the basketball team?
no,
You
it was
know
long
what?
distance. And he played football.
Oh, that's good. Good for you.
But it was a pretty positive experience. But at the end of the day, life happens. And so it's just kind of like having the emotional maturity to understand that sometimes everything
It don't work.
Yeah.
Growing up, girl, I know that's right.
And it's so funny for like me to hear that from her. It's like, oh my baby.
She growing up, it happens sometimes.
Ebony be thinking she's so old.
That's
But compared to them, like
Yeah.
they're my babies. Like I watched her come into like her freshman year of high school, and like
How old are you guys?
I'm 21.
I'm 22.
Dang.
So like,
Look, I need to get off this shit.
but like she's my baby sister. This is her best friend. Like so to me, like I've watched them like grow
Yeah.
through like yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
So to hear like emotional maturity, it's like, aw.
Oh,
Social worker with the emotional
She
maturity.
said it, not me.
So what about you, Taleah? Did you?
I found it difficult in the beginning. Like, I wasn't in the healthiest relationship, so it was like kind of difficult trying to figure out like how to make it healthy.
Was he
almost.
on the basketball team?
No.
No, I don't know. Always got.
It was long distance, and he played football too. But,
Y'all want to football.
yeah.
They got help so you can't see them niggas.
I'm trying. But yeah, no, it was difficult in the beginning because obviously we play different sports, so it was like the seasons were different. And trying to like meet up again, and like trying to figure out like when we can hang out, when we can talk on the phone. Like it was, the whole thing was just difficult. So, but once I like got out of that, I found myself in a much happier place. Too, so.
Dang, that's great. And then you
You
said
yeah, it was long distance.
long distance.
It wasn't the best either. You know, we're fine now. Like you know,
Was he football too?
he's basketball.
You know what?
Good job.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I had to ask the question. I was about to ask the same thing with the football.
Yeah, he was just at like a higher major school. So, no, I mean, because there's more, you know, people on
More
campus,
perks.
there's more position,
Popularity.
there's TV,
You got
there's.
distracted by stuff.
I mean, it happens. Like, I mean, that's what happens with college, I guess.
I guess he tripping. He definitely tripping.
But no, it happens.
Shut up.
So.
Shut
It
up.
happens sometimes, like, you know, we were both young, so I don't like fault
No,
anyone.
he tripping.
I was pretty to myself in college, so. But once I got out of it,
Yeah.
I felt like it was a better experience for me. So.
No, that's real.
That's good.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. I had the same experience. First of all, the recommendation that I would have to anybody is do not go into college
With a
in a relationship.
Absolutely not.
First of all, when you decide your junior year or whenever you decide you sign that letter of intent, break up. Just break up.
Because when you go out, you learn about yourself in college.
Yeah,
You learn from
I
different-
second it.
You learn about yourself from different
You
people.
learn so much,
shit
and then
that
when you go, you meet new people, and it might not even be like the fact that we're getting, or the other person's getting, or I'm getting distracted. Like, it may not even be that. It's just the simple fact that, like, we're going to two different places. We're about to learn totally different things about each
About
other,
yourself,
about
yeah.
ourselves. Like, it ain't no point in us taking this relationship across the country. That don't even make no sense.
Yeah,
Just
Some
break
people
up.
do though, it might work, but sometimes it don't.
When you sign a letter of intent, break up.
But also, you kind of like people were, depending on how they were raised, like if they were really
Right.
strict or not. Like people go to college and lose their mind, and
Literally.
sometimes there's really no way to see that coming. So it's just like I see what you're saying.
I got there and
You
was
don't-
like,
you
oh,
don't
this is
shit
what. Did I?
Okay, I lost my mind too when
What?
I played that.
And not even in the sense of like I had like a strict upbringing because I didn't like I could go to the movies, I could do stuff.
It's just,
But it's just a sense of like
The
there's
adult
nobody
thing.
telling me I gotta go in the house. What?
Yeah.
I'm out till 5 in the morning.
that's for sure.
Oh, nobody gotta tell me that I can hang out with this person? We outside. Like, and it's just it didn't help that I went to we didn't have on campus housing, like, but my recommendation, break up. So tell your younger people, break up with their boyfriends.
People don't listen like that, Tom. Like, you just like, people told me don't, I mean, you told me don't go in a relationship, but yeah, you told me to, but it's just like, you don't recognize until you're in it. Like,
Yeah, you just gotta let people learn.
figure out for their own, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we hold your hand.
Yeah.
and
Well, listen,
we like that
they
word.
look good. But you got, if you understand, you go to certain things, you gotta do it, then you go.
Yeah, I guess.
And sometimes it does work. I've seen people and they work. I've seen it happen. There is that 1 in a million. So let them go ahead and test
1 in a
that
million.
But y'all outside, though.
Outside.
Look at her face.
So did you get a lot of play in school, like as a female athlete?
Like, dating wise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You dropping balls, you ain't right on the tables.
Right. I wanted to have a good time.
I know you said.
But whatever. That's you know what.
You was in Philly, I was out there too, when you was out there.
You know what, we was out there together and
But I
you
never
knew.
knew you.
No, we didn't, but you
But I
know,
where
you know
was
somebody
at.
that I know, and that's
some
exactly.
places out there.
You know that's my
Never
problem.
been. You know, never been out in Philly.
Okay, speaking of problems, we're gonna get into more problems and all of the good and the bad of being a D1 athlete.
Thank you for taking
Poppin'
that.
shit, gotta get it. Niggas out here hating, but ain't stopping shit. Stop procrastinating, wasting time and shit. Niggas only gangster when they signing in.
So guys, the quote of the day is, don't feel bad for knowing that you deserve more. So how do you guys like resonate with that quote, or like, how does it make you feel? Like, you know, when you think about yourself.
I feel like that's always how I approach life. Like, you can't really guilt trip me into nothing. Because I just already know what I deserve. I know my value. Like, so that's just something, that's just like a way of life. Like, I think that's just been instilled in me because of my parents. They never feel bad for doing what you need to do. Like, so that's how it resonates with me.
Yeah, I think it goes in with like just being independent. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know I can provide for myself, so like I know what I should be getting, and like she's like family, like instilling that in me like from the jump. Like it doesn't even matter, and like she even puts that on me too. Like even like in the relationships and stuff, she's like, get out of it because you deserve more. And so like,
Yeah.
like but I can appreciate that I have a best
She's
friend.
mean.
Yeah, she's
I
no, but
I'm just.
she's very
She's
honest.
cutthroat.
She's very honest.
Anything wrong with
Yeah,
that?
but that's what I'm saying. But I needed a best friend like that because sometimes, more times than not, she was right.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that's just how you should go about life. Like, don't feel bad for knowing that you
Man,
deserve
you
more.
can't miss not one time with that one, because she gonna cut you quick. Cut it,
Mhm.
cut it, cut it.
She is definitely OT.
Oh, that's.
Scorpio.
Yeah.
Oh, Scorpio?
Yeah.
Big Scorpio is she.
Yep, I'm proud of it.
Sure.
Sarah, how do you feel about it?
I feel like pretty much the same. Like my parents taught me, you know, to value yourself, moral values, all that stuff. I know that anything that I want in life, I can get myself if I work hard at it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna want more. I'm gonna go get more.
Yes, you should.
I feel like it's also like I know how I am as a person, and I know how I love, I know how I care about my people. So the second I feel like you're stepping outside of that, I have no problems with just cutting it, because it's like you don't deserve all that I give. Like I know how much I care about my village. So the second I feel like you're not reciprocating that, like I have no issue with being like, well, it's wraps.
Exactly.
See you
Let
later.
go.
Hasta la vista.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
So, as a student athlete, in what ways do you feel like you've required like programs, coaches, teammates, like whatever, to like give you more or like give you what you deserve?
And not yet as a female student athlete, just generally
Yeah.
speaking as a student athlete.
I think it's just kind of like just setting the tone early. Like I'm very big on giving what you want to receive. So I'm gonna give you exactly what I'm asking for. I'm never gonna ask for more than I'm willing to give. So I feel like as long as that's consistent within me, I should never have to question that consistency from you as well.
Gotcha.
She's saying it
I know, like
Yeah, like she might drop, like she said,
Mic drop.
She had dropped that one.
yeah.
Okay, so since she keep mic dropping it and whatnot, as female athletes, because we're female athletes, we see the differences between like female athletes and male athletes. Do you feel like for y'all who are still in it, y'all deserve more? And then from your perspective, because you're on the men's side, like do you feel like
Like the men get more.
women deserve more than what they get?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just see like, I just know our boys get more money than us. Like sometimes like our CEO, like but again, like they have more season ticket holders. Like they bring more people to the game, so like obviously they generate more money. So like that's just how the world is. So like they work for it. They're getting their ticket sales and stuff. So that's what they get. Like I can't expect to get more if I'm not getting it. Yeah, if I'm not, I don't have like that popularity. So like I shouldn't get that either. So like yeah, of course like I want it, but if it's not there, how am I supposed to get it?
Cause I ain't gonna lie, when I was in the basketball league, I talked to everybody like, yo, you gotta come to the game. Like, oh, for real? Come to the game, no support for the boy.
But
That's
that's
how-
how
that's
it
how-
works.
that's how you get it.
But it's not even, I mean, to me,
No,
it's not
I'm
really
telling
the
you.
players, it's society. Like, it's not the players that be, like, that's just the byproduct of you being a great athlete, just as you. But for, like, society purposes, I feel like society caters more to male athletes as opposed to female athletes. Like, we see that every day with the NBA versus WNBA.
And I do think it's a difference because they're all professional athletes. Like,
Yeah.
me, like I'm not looking to go be a professional athlete. So like I'm okay with like I'm gonna work for my money when I get there. But like professional athletes, like they're all in the same world. Like why isn't the money even remotely the same?
The same,
And it's a way to make it work. I know that
Yeah.
some like high Division I basketball programs, like for my brother, for instance, like they generate so much money that the school has made it a point to kind of make the facilities as equal as possible. Like even though the other sports might not be bringing in the same amount of money, it's not reflected in the treatment and the facilities and the resources. So I'm like, there is a way to do it. It's just you have to make a targeted effort. And I just feel like people aren't really interested in making that effort.
Yeah. So you feel like they give it to who earns it?
Yeah.
So if men's basketball is the breadwinner, then men's basketball gets everything, or football, or
But
whatever.
sometimes women's programs are better than boys'
I just
programs.
use
But it's still, even at the better, like schools where the women's programs are better than, like that is still 1 in a million for them to have better than the men. Even if the women's teams are better. Like that's why, it's just so deeply embedded. Like it's so much just underlying.
Patriarchy.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
No, but really.
Like, yeah, no, that's kind of like where we were headed, like with the conversation, because even like, for instance, like at College Park, like
Oh, yeah.
the males basketball team for some time was trash, and women's team was beating everybody.
But the thing is, the girls' team has always been good for years.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. When it comes to like treatment, when it comes to like even like time spent in like the gym facility itself, like the girls team would just get less. Like even when it comes to like sponsorships from Under Armour, like what? You get what I'm saying? Like no, because I was like I don't know. Yeah, it
No,
was
but
just
your
very
girls
one-sided.
team always been solid, right?
Yeah.
I've been looking. Girl boys
Yeah.
team been, you know, a little shaky.
But like the sponsorships have always gone to like the football team, like the men's
Yeah.
football team
You
or
know,
the
the
men's
football
basketball
was
team.
like
So,
that, but now they not.
yeah.
So what do you think, being like a retired women's athlete and now working on the men's side, how do you see it, or like, what are your thoughts?
So when I played for Central Connecticut State University, so we were always better than our guys as well. But because their coach was a former NBA player, the one that stepped in while I was there, like they were like on flights and like I have never gotten on a flight that 4 years, never touched the plane, like. So like they got to, you know, go play like in the islands and stuff like that. So like we're just like, I mean,
Connections is
y'all
hard.
aren't even right. Like you have losing records every year, and like we're closer than a winning record than you guys are, but they'll still get more. And then like now that I'm on the men's side, I can see it so much like now that I'm dealing with like budget, I'm dealing with
Yeah.
you know, planning hotels, flights, buses, all that stuff, gear, like. Every time I walk in, I have like boxes of gear. They're like, dang, you get, or snacks and stuff for them, like their locker room. She's like, dang, y'all got all that stuff for them. I'm like, unfortunately, like, yeah, it is all for them. So,
Yeah.
you know,
You
but
also got put in perspective the booster stuff. The boosters be whoever used to go there and get the alumni.
Like alumni.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Hold
that is
them
a big
alumni
thing.
show love though.
Yeah.
Is it called boosters in college, or is it just alumni?
there's boosters.
Oh, it is
Boosters, the
Okay.
boosters alumni is the same thing, but
Yeah,
they
you still have
definitely throw money. I'm telling you.
But even like without money being a factor, like you can still kind of feel the difference. Like we've had several instances where it was just like simple things like a media day, like just the way everything's operating. I'm like, now this is because we're girls, because I just want the men to do this. And I was like, they did not have the same experience. I'm like, y'all putting us on a time crunch, y'all trying to limit how many pictures we get, like y'all messing with.
Do y'all ever speak up?
Absolutely. I have a women's head coach and also like majority female staff. So like my coach is very big when we go to her about something like that, she's going to defend it immediately. So she's going to demand like equality across the board. So we have we're also a team full of, well not full, but we have a good amount of like black women, like strong opinionated black women. So nobody really had that much of an issue of standing up. We also have a black female, what's that called? AD. So that also helps. Yeah. So our school is very progressive. So they're trying to like cover their bases in as many ways as possible. So we don't really, when it comes to stuff like that, like it's not hard to fix it, but it shouldn't be something that has to be fixed.
Yeah, and like I'm quick to speak up too, because I remember, I don't think you were here yet. I was over COVID. The guys were like trying to play pickup and stuff. We weren't allowed in the gym. Like it was a strict schedule. Like you had to, it was a 3-hour practice, and that was it. Like the gym was closed, you couldn't be in there. And the guys were like trying to play pickup on the weekend. And I'm like, well, why can't we play pickup on the weekend? And one of my they told me, and I asked my coach, I was like, well, the guys are playing pickup, like y'all have to be here. The coach's not gonna be here, can we play? And it was like, our coach wanted to go to like administration and ask them. And he was like, well, the guys aren't supposed to be playing. And I was like, well, why can't we play? If we can't play, then they can't play. And like, cause it's not fair, like, they still playing the same amount of games that we are. We're all playing 13 games. If we have practice, they have practice. If they can play pickup, we can play pickup. And I don't care. Like, I want to play basketball too, so if they can play pickup, so can I.
I think like,
One thing about this she was here. And some of the guys were mad at me for speaking up, because like, dang, like, we can't play pickup because you said something. I don't, well.
Well, I mean, y'all should have spoke up and asked them if we could play with y'all. Like,
No, y'all definitely could have played with us in the small
And I
school.
think,
We
like,
don't care.
with the coaches, like now, like for us, our coaches, our head coaches, like they're more mindful of y'all's team.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. Like I know last year, like our team paid for their meals for summertime. Like you know what I'm saying. Or we're like always like, okay, well if we picked a first time like this time, girls have first pick next. Like you know what I'm saying. And especially because I'm not the only woman on our staff. We have another black woman. She's an assistant coach for our men's
What's the
team.
trade?
Yes.
Tiny.
Tiny. So yeah, so she's on there. So like he has to be more mindful, especially because he has two women on staff. Like you know, be mindful of the women's team and other women around. We have a woman AD as well, so she's not black, but you know what I'm saying. Like so.
gotcha.
Wait, hold that thought, because we're being mindful. We're gonna get into these ads and we'll be right back.
It's so passionate. No, I know, I'll probably.
Poppin' shit, gotta get it. Niggas out here hating, but ain't stopping shit. Stop procrastinating, wasting time and shit. Niggas only gangster when they signing in.
We just talked about some good, some bad. Let's talk about life after basketball. What does that look like? What are your thoughts? What are your aspirations? Or maybe you don't cut basketball out totally, but like after school, what we looking at?
For me, and I still do want to be involved in sports in some capacity. If it's not basketball, that's fine. But I do want to be on like the business side of sports, which is why I'm kind of working to get my CPA, things like that. So maybe accounting, whatever that might look like. I also know my parents have their own accounting firm, so eventually, when I get older, of course, taking over the business and kind of running it, evolving it, etc.
Are you set? Basketball ain't in your future, girl.
Why she gotta forget it? Cause she.
No, because she said she got one family firm. That's a lot of money. In the family. You gotta think about it.
That's fine.
I get it. She gonna hoop for fun, yeah.
Maybe she don't want. Maybe she want to coach. Maybe she want to.
That coaching shit over with.
No.
But nah, that coaching shit over with. She look like she
I'm
don't
a
coach. She look like she
and
can
while I love being a woman, I know what comes with that, and I don't really have the patience and tolerance for a lot of things.
Everybody don't got it.
Really?
Everybody don't got the
Like what?
patience.
I know that like I can see even with having like being around different male and female coaches, like I know we're a handful. Like we're a handful. Not to say that men aren't, but it's different. And I feel like just the way that I feel like it would be too much just conflict of interest. Just sometimes just being a woman and then coaching women, like it's hard to kind of micromanage things that come with being a woman, like because it's never just that simple with basketball. Like,
Do you feel like is that why you want to decide?
A little bit, cause like I mean, for me, my personal like experiences, it was just so much drama. Like it was always something.
Yes.
It's there's periods like
Lots
emotions
of emotions.
emotions
That's
are
real.
running high, like really like
that's all syncing up.
yeah.
It's real.
And so like you might come in and have an attitude and you don't want to listen to your coaches, and it's like how do you coach that? Like mind you, our guys are still divas too.
Yeah.
But it's just in a different sense. Like if I yell at them, then it's just like, all right, it's dead. Like it's right there. More times women kind of carry it out.
It can be
have a little
taken
grudge.
personal. It's very hard to draw that line. Like this is not personal. It's just we all have the
That's
same
why I can't
combo.
coach women. I'm gonna get in your ass the whole time. I'm walking down that motherfucking walk.
Don't stand up.
No, that's fine.
No, I agree. Playing for a woman
Is much different.
It was like
It
it was like feeling it. And I love her, like that's my girl. Like I would call her if I need a recommendation. Like I love her. So don't get me wrong. However, whenever she yelled at me, it was like she just gets going in. But when I played for men, it was like, oh, I'm gonna go over here and do what they told me to do. But like because I just always felt like she was always in her feelings. When she probably may have been or she may not have been.
Shit,
So-
we be in our feelings too, though.
No,
Yeah, but
y'all let it go.
But y'all not
Yeah,
the
no,
carriers.
that
You don't have to
is-
go up and sit in a meeting to try to talk it out or nothing like that.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So
Right.
many
Right.
kumbayas. If there's any type of, like, that's another thing. Men can be in practice, they can go at it. It can be war in practice.
Yeah.
Girls do that after we have to have a meeting because now our coaches think that all of us hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, that is very real. My brother will talk about, like, physical fights
Fights,
between
yeah.
players and they're best friends to this day.
That's for
Girls,
sure.
like, it really just can never be that simple.
Yeah, I remember my dad, like, I was yelling at you one day. He was like, just go apologize. You don't know if she upset. And I apologized. And she was like, why are you apologizing? Because that's just how women, like, my dad was coaching girls, so like, he recognized that, like, girls get in their feelings. You might have to go say sorry. She won't be upset at you. But that's just not the case. Like, some girls are like that, some girls aren't like, but you just never know.
And it's funny because I don't have that. Like, if I yell at you, I'm not saying sorry. Pick up your shorts and we out. Like, why am I saying sorry? Like, we're playing basketball. I yelled at you. It's over. Like, let's go. And if you think you're going to argue with me, now I'm going to carry to the next year. I'm not going to finish your ball.
See, but that's like here you go.
But that's like, that is
That's
real.
it.
Like, you will hear about that on different
Oh,
teams. Like, that is
always tell me, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. But like, it's basketball, we all tied up in the emotions of the game. Why does it matter how I say it? I can't even hear, you
Take
can't
the
hear me.
message.
So I'm like, yeah, whatever, like, just take the message. Yeah, take the message.
Call out the screen on the right side next time.
No,
It's
no.
all screen.
Right. It's right to a brick wall back there. Call it out.
Wow, we aggressive on the men's side, man. We talking shit.
Exactly.
And the coaches
certain words you can't say because you get offended, like you ready to fight.
Yeah.
Just in general, but like you gotta keep it at a
Yeah.
line.
For sure.
Because you can't, if you don't, sheesh, it might be a scrap after the game.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta fight it out.
You know what I
See,
mean?
but we can't just fight it
Can't
out.
fight it out.
Because even if one person's okay with just fighting out, it's never both parties is on the same
No,
page.
that's true.
Because your girls ain't gonna roll over with you.
And there's like
They gonna see you fighting
other things
it
that
out.
come with it, like the drama that can exist on the women's side really
It's
does
just
not.
not.
Like you have to keep in mind, like if you look at the WNBA, 70% of the WNBA is gay, and you will see that appear on women's teams across the nation.
Yeah.
Whether we want to talk about it or not, that is very evident, and it causes big fallouts that you wouldn't even believe happens behind the scenes
Oh, for sure.
at every level.
That's why you gotta keep that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people don't.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard for, because I've seen like teammates date, I've played against teammates that dated, they're fighting, they're not passing the ball to each other.
Yeah.
So, like,
You know, just gotta grow
like,
up at some point though.
yeah.
Grow up. That's why we grow up.
No,
Grow up.
really. Yeah.
Why are we doing this right now?
Exactly.
So, what are your plans?
Well, I want to be an on-air talent or sideline reporter. I thought about coaching, but I like telling stories. I like storytelling. I like to talk to the players. I want to get to know their stories. I want to tell their stories. I want to sit down and explain, like, why did you shoot that shot? Like, what was going through your mind when you shot that shot? Like, I love to be on camera. I like to sit here and talk to people too. So, yeah, that's just what I see myself doing. That's
So,
where
what
I'm
about
thinking.
you see on ESPN? Y'all heard us.
Yeah.
ESPN, NBA TV, you know, all that stuff. I'm looking at internships,
shout
jobs,
me out.
fellowships, all that
I
stuff.
was gonna say, I actually have a friend that works at ESPN, no, NBA.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Let
I
me know.
can help you. She's in operations and stuff like that.
Okay.
So.
I know practices.
Set it all, son.
You don't see me on TV?
No, I'm just saying, like, you know,
No, but
you're
it's all about,
networking.
it's all about.
Yeah,
the
it really
networking.
is.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
all
getting
about
into NBA and stuff like that, like working with them, it is about connection.
I know.
Yeah,
Like
she
I
was
had
at
an
the
internship
draft.
with WBAO, and I was like I went to the Ravens like draft day. Like I had no business being there just because I was with WBAO TV, who the voice of the Ravens, they broadcast the Ravens games. I was just there because I was a part of that. It's all about connection.
No, for sure.
It's
That's
literally
that's
who you
life
know.
in general.
Yeah.
It's
It's
life
who
in
you
general.
know.
That's how I got here. Really just knowing people, that's just how I got as far as I did.
Mm-hmm.
I think. How do y'all feel? Because I believe that like basketball, any kind of sport, it really sets you up for like learning how to build relationships, learning how to manage time, learning how to just manage so much in life. Like basketball really kind of like sets you up for that. Like those next steps in your life. Do y'all agree? Do y'all feel like it holds you back a little bit?
I feel like even have like team camaraderie, like when you're in workspaces where you are working with a team that's like very normal these days, especially like in the corporate world, you're constantly working with different people. And we touched a little bit about like attitude, like you learn how to deal with certain personalities, you learn how to be able to still make things happen. Like I think it also just builds your ability to communicate effectively to different types of people.
The only thing is, the only downfall is like not getting the experience because you put so much of your time and hours into playing basketball and being a student athlete that you don't get to have like the experience. Yeah, like people had internships since they were freshmen. Like I didn't get the opportunity because I was playing basketball. So like I think that's the only part that kind of like sets me back a little bit because I feel like I'm behind the people in my class because they had other experiences and stuff like that, and I had it because all my time was to basketball. That's probably the only downfall. But all of my like communication skills, my like you said, time management, all that stuff, 100% came from basketball. I'm a natural born leader because I played basketball for so long.
But you know that puts you ahead because
It does, yeah.
You know more than what they know because you just being yourself.
from being in high school to going to college, and then it's like you've had different jobs in like a college men's basketball team space. So like, how has it helped you, or like?
So I think it helped a little bit. I think like just me having to put myself out there a little bit. I'm from Baltimore, but I had to go to school in Connecticut, change the pace. So it's like I'm always changed. I changed to Goucher College. That was the D3 men's team that I worked for before here. So it was kind of just like all of a progression, I think, for me.
Resume is always important.
Yeah.
Resume is very important.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like I didn't have like you said, like I had to really hunt for internships. Luckily for exercise science for us, it was like built into our like programs. So we had to do a practicum of like 150 hours and then an internship of like 375 hours. So it was like, that helped me because I'm like, okay, well, because of basketball, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I'm like, all right, I want to be a physical therapist. I want to be a physician assistant. Like none of that. Like I ended up being a children's fitness instructor right after college. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like I love kids. Like I can watch kids. Like I nannied before, and like so I've had a lot of different jobs. Like not just in basketball, but ultimately, my experience is what brought me back to like basketball.
Yeah, because I do want to stay around basketball too. That also, the fact that I played put me a little bit higher than other people too. So that's a plus.
Right. My GA position was like literally. Yeah, the GA position was like, okay, we want somebody to play Division I basketball, and because of that, I beat out Male that played Division III. Basketball is basketball, but because that's what the coach wanted, he preferred one or the other. Then it's just that simple. I just beat him.
Dang, that's
I know, right?
That's
Cutthroat
so
on here.
tough.
Very cutthroat.
Yeah.
Well, I cannot wait to see like these three women right here.
I know.
I've grown up with you, and then like I've watched y'all grow up. So like, I'm so excited to see all that y'all are about to accomplish.
Well, you played as well, so
I was
what's
a-
life like after basketball?
Listen,
Right.
everybody knows that I am a social worker. I work with kids, and I coach high school basketball. I don't think I can coach college because it's they're those, and I can't do that because I probably want to.
And the hours are a lot.
Yeah, I can
College hours.
I was just texting.
I'm gonna stick to high school because I can manage the adolescent behaviors. Because I've been taught to do that. So I think that being a social worker just like helps me there. So
assholes.
and they are, and guess what? I'm time enough for them. I'm not time enough for.
Wrong, because
I'm not. No.
Because we got like the smart.
Because now I'm fight.
I know.
And I'm not gonna want to fight a high schooler because you're still a child. So
I'm still going. I didn't want to get my belt.
see, don't let me call CPS.
Exactly.
No, really. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all for coming.
Yes.
Like, it means so much to me.
For sure.
Drop your social media so that people can keep up with y'all. They can come watch y'all play. They can come support you on the men's side. Everybody keep in touch.
You can follow me on Instagram at precious_Leah and on Twitter precious_Leah with 2 H's.
You can follow me on Instagram at JessieChristina_ Jessie spelled JESSIE.
You can follow me at the Sid Hines on pretty much any platform. It's the Sid and Hines is HINES.
Thank y'all
Yes,
to my great
thanks,
co-hosts for
guys.
joining me on this
Yes.
episode of That Girl Got Knowledge.
I just wanna spend my life with you all day. You say that you love me, is it true? You say I'm the only one that's all for you. Okay, make me feel away, make me feel away. Shorty so damn dangerous, fuck me like I'm famous, yeah. I've been so impatient, so glad that you made it here. Took my dick and faced it, shorty going crazy, yeah. Thought that you was playing, told me spray it everywhere. She want me to take it, what you tryna do? Shorty said she like